Hi folks, in this video we'll talk about the slider, specifically updating the title, the description, the button, and the link, as well as changing the image, adding and removing slides. And then we'll get into a little bit more specifics in the second video about the actual styling of the fonts and the buttons, so if we can change that up to something different if you want to. So with that said, let's just pop into Dreamweaver to start with. And in order to update the Bootstrap slider, and this goes for all editors, we're just going to expand the library folder. And this time we're going to go into the sliders folder, and there we have the Bootstrap slider. The same with our expression web. We're just going to go into the sliders folder, the Bootstrap folder, and there's our Bootstrap slider library file right there. And this is where all the magic happens. If we open an expression web, one of the first things we want to take a look at is how do we update the title, this piece right here. So we'll just go to Dreamweaver in this example. I'll open this one up. And right here, there's the text right there. You can access it through the design window if you want to. It's one way of doing it. You can see the slide, the actual image, is visible on the page. Then we have, for that particular slide, the first slide, right below it, we have the title, we have the description, and we have the text for the button. Now, if we look at this in code view, we'll see that there is the text right there, and it's on its own little line, so you can just sort of select it. Here is the button. Click here to learn more, and there's the link. It doesn't go anywhere right now. So if you want to update the title, the description, or the button text, you can select it right on the page, or you can go to the code view and update it here. And in this example, this is a newer version of Dreamweaver, so it shows up in white very nicely. It really pulls it out. And the next piece you would want to take a look at is actually updating the link for the click here to learn more. The slider is designed to be a navigation tool as well. And this is great. So if you had a product, or if you had a service, or if you had an event, and you wanted to link the image that you're using to a web page in your site, or even in somebody else's site, this is where the click here to learn more button comes into play. You can link this button to a specific page. And all you need to do for that is select the button here, and then you'd use your, in Dreamweaver, excuse me, you would use your point to file tool and just drag it to whatever page you want that button to point to. Now, Expression Web is a little bit different in terms of how the hyperlinking tool works, but the process is the same. There's your text. Instead of white, it's black. There it is right there, and you can select it, and you can do this in design view if you wish. Now, the actual click here to learn more, all you need for that is you select it with your mouse, right click for Expression Web, and select Hyperlink Properties. And then you would use this to find the page you want to link to, select it, and click OK. And that's it. That's your title, that's your description, and that's your link button or click here to learn more button right there. Now, how do you change the picture? Well, the picture is actually an embedded image, and that's the link to it right here. And in Dreamweaver, we would show you in code, here's the link to your image right here. It tells you the path, and that's the images full screen slider. So in each Bootstrap folder, we have an images folder, and inside the images folder are where we keep the pictures or the images for your slides. I recommend you put the images in the same folder when you go to replace them. I also recommend, to make life really easy, is if you're just going to replace the default 4 slider images, just take your new image, resize it to 1920 by 1080. The default image size of the images right here is 1920 by 1080 pixels. And that's a perfect HD 16 by 9 size or resolution. That's why we went with that. So it'll fit all modern devices, right? To replace your image, you can do one of two things. You can just create your new image. You can give it the exact same file name, such as slider 1, 2, 3, or 4. And you can just drop it right into the folder to replace the existing image. And you won't have to do anything in the code. Just replace the image directly. Or create your new image, put it into the images folder, and then just update the name of the image right here. I would like to recommend, highly recommend, if you do that, make sure you use all lowercase. No punctuation in the file names, and if you have multiple words in your image name, such as full screen slider, make sure you connect them with a hyphen. See how we have a hyphen connecting it here? Same with the file name here. And the best way to replace this actual name of the file is to sort of select your new file name over here, like double click to get the renaming piece, and then copy. And then go over and replace the actual file name just like that. So you do a copy paste, so that way you're going to eliminate any typos, which is probably the number one support question we run into when images don't show up, is the name of the file here does not match exactly to the name of the file that's been put into the slider here. So that sort of covers how to update the title, the description, the button, and the image. Now to add or remove slides, we're just going to scroll down a little bit here. We're going to go to the very last slide in the page. And you see where it says carousel item right here? Or if we were in Expression Web, we'd scroll right down to the very bottom, carousel item right there. What we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this div container. And in Expression Web, we would just simply right click on the carousel item, do a select tag, right click and copy, and then right after where it's highlighted green here, put your cursor, hit enter a few times to give yourself some space, and paste. Then all you need to do is update the image name, the title, the description, and the click here to learn more. Right? And of course, put your new image in here and change the name of the image that you're linking to right here. With Dreamweaver, very similar process. We're going to select the first tag, and you can see in Dreamweaver, when you select the top tag, the closing tag, corresponding tag, highlights down below. So same sort of thing, we're going to copy and paste this carousel item tag. Now another way to do this is, I like to sort of cheat a little bit in Dreamweaver, is I collapse the tag just by clicking on the little arrow here, and then I copy it, and then I just, right after the collapsed, I give myself a bunch of room, put my cursor in, and I paste it. And then I would change the name right here. Or you can do the old-fashioned way. You can select the top of it, and it will, there we go, it shows you where the bottom is. You can just grab it with your mouse and copy and paste to create another carousel item. Then you would go and update your title, your description, and your click here to learn more button.